Hello, and welcome to my brief review of Why I Hate Everything Reflections on a Decade in Retail by Maggie Weber. I'm not going to be talking like Maggie for this whole thing, that was just for the intro. Anyway, welcome to my channel. I'm Pandem Buckner. If you are new here, so am I. I am just figuring this out as I go. Today, I'm doing a brief review of Maggie Weber's book, Why I Hate Everything, now available on Amazon. I'll be linking to that in the description. Maggie, full disclosure, Maggie is a friend of mine, or at least I consider her a friend. Um, she may feel differently, I don't know. But I consider her a friend. And she is a friend of mine. So a few months ago, I went and bought her book, which is how you support your friends who are writers. You buy their books. And if you can't afford to buy their books, you comment and react and share their social media posts. That's how you support your writer friends. Okay, little sore spot for me. Anyway, let's talk about this book. Let me read you the back cover blurb real quick. Has anyone ever tried to throw a cash register at you? Have so many irritating and inane questions caused you to develop a poker face so strong that a sledgehammer wouldn't break it? Have you seen every dark impulse man possesses? Do you know every demon by name? Yes? Then you've probably worked retail, and this book is for you. No? Then you've probably never worked retail, and this book is for you. These are the true stories of my 10 years working retail, often ugly, sometimes touching, always funny because it didn't happen to you. That's the back cover blurb for this. And I got to say, initial impressions, it's true. It is often ugly. It is sometimes touching, and it's always funny. In a Schadenfreude kind of way, like, oh my God, I can't believe she went through that. That sucks, but hey, it's not happening to me, so I can laugh about it. Yeah, she was spot on about that. So the book itself, the first thing I want to note is that Maggie writes in a very casual, conversational tone. If you've watched any of her videos here on YouTube or on Facebook, Instagram Reels, whatever, she writes exactly the way she talks, and it's very easy to hear her voice in your head when you're reading the book. And I like that. That's the perfect way to make this book casual and fun, even though it is sometimes tear jerking. She did really well with that. Congrats to Maggie. That's not a trick every writer can pull off, so I feel she did really well with that. The second thing I want to note about it is its relatability. If you've ever worked retail, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, if you've ever worked with the general public, if you've ever worked, there's something you can relate to in this book. And that, again, is a strong selling point. Whether you've actually worked in a restaurant or a thrift shop or, God forbid, a mall store, there are things in this book you can easily relate to. And that's a wonderful thing. There are some parts of the book that really stood out to me that I want to specifically mention. One is during the section about her first job when she was 15, the breakfast sandwich. I did not know that making breakfast sandwiches was so complicated and such a pain in the ass for employees, at least the way that this place did it. So, if I ever hurt anyone who's working at a breakfast type place and requested a breakfast sandwich and it was a huge pain in the ass for you, I am so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm sure I tipped well, but I didn't know, and I'm so sorry I did that to you. The second part I want to really address here is the rules for avoiding customers, and these are hilarious. She gives in-depth examples for each rule, but I'm just gonna breeze right by. Rule one is avoid eye contact, which again, with my work experience, I can attest to as being a good idea. Just avoid eye contact. Just don't let them know you see them, and maybe they'll act like they don't see you. Standard inconvenience, which is just put yourself in a position where it's tough for a customer to get to you. Which some customers will still break through that challenge. They will see it as a challenge. They will break through. But yeah, it's effective. Rule 3: look like you're already working. That one I think is the single most effective. Look like you're already busy. Most people hate to interrupt. They'll leave you alone. Rule 4: retreat. Go hide in the back for a little while. Take a little 2, 3, 4, 5 minute break when things start to get busy. Good advice. Solid advice. And where do we go? Rule 5: take the easy shots. If you can tell right away one customer is going to be a bigger hassle than another customer, go with the less hassly customer first. Smart planning. No notes. Rule 6: mercy is for the stupid. Listen, you are at work to make money. You are not there to make friends. If you get the chance to throw somebody under the bus, take it. Take it, take it, take it. And finally, where did we go? Rule 7: lie your ass off. I am a very honest person. I cannot condone or suggest lying unless you're at work and it sucks. In which case, lie your ass off. Do whatever you got to do to make it easier and get through the day. Just get through the day. That's your whole goal. Get through the day. That's it. So do that. Another part I want to address in this section was really educational for me because she talks about when she first started working at a thrift shop. And I thought, before reading this book, I thought that, thrift shops get their donations, they look them up maybe, they put a price on them, put them out on the shelf. It is a lot more complicated than that. And oh my God, it's so much more work than I ever thought. Be kind to your thrift store employees, please. They're going through a lot. I mean, be kind to everyone if you can, but if you have to pick a particular class of people, thrift store employees are the way to go. And one more interesting section. Maggie, well, several more, but Maggie meets privilege. Um, this is apparently Maggie's first time dealing with someone who came from a wealthy position, didn't understand what it was like to not be in that wealthy position, to not have supporting wealthy parents who can pay for you. And like, it was kind of eye opening to see that from the perspective of a cis white woman. So it was interesting. I did enjoy that part, and I came to kind of despise the person who had the privilege in that situation. But that's life. Hiring the disabled and those with intellectual disabilities, and the two-edged sword, and why it is a two-edged sword. That part was also educational. It's not something I've thought about a whole lot, but Maggie gives a fair picture of both the difficulties and the rewards of doing so. So kudos for that. And the last specific chapter I'm going to mention, how retail made me kind of racist. And again, it's something I can relate to. If you work with a certain class of people who are more troublesome than other types of people, yeah, you can start developing a little prejudice against that. And I totally understand that. I admire her for being honest about it and open about it and putting it out there and working on it. Like, gotta respect that. I understand how she got there and understand how she got out of it. And I like that. I'm glad that she was that vulnerable to expose that and say, after this job, I'm a little racist. I became a little racist because of this job, because of certain people we were dealing with, certain group of people we were dealing with, and the way they dealt with us. So yeah, that honesty is refreshing. I honestly wish more people could do it because there's a lot of people in the restaurant industry who are racist, a little bit racist after what they went through. And then the last section is about working in a mall shop, and I would never, ever, 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 ever want to do that. Like a Claire's or a Hot Topic, um, like those, not those in particular, because I don't want to get sued either, but someplace like that. Imagine working in that. And she only did it for, I think, a couple of years in the book, but it was clearly grueling and wow. Like, if I had been through that, I think my book would be called Why I Murdered Everybody, as opposed to Why I Hate Everything. So, yeah, kudos to her for getting through that and sticking it out. Um, and then, yeah, that's where the book ends. After the mall thing, when she leaves that job, that's where the book ends. Not really spoiling anything here. Uh, she, like I said, she writes very conversationally, very casually. It's very easy to get into it. My one real complaint is also one of the things that I really liked, which is Maggie speaks. Maggie writes the way she speaks, which means there's just a lot of run on sentences. Um, as a natural editor, which means that I am really good at picking out other people's mistakes, that got to me a little bit, but it didn't detract from my overall enjoyment of the book. And the messages still got through. So little ding for that, but that's about it really. It's a fun read. Sometimes it's a tearjerker. Sometimes it hits you in the heart. Mostly it's funny and interesting, and she does really good studies of the people around her. She pays attention, and that's something that I think is awesome. So again, that is Why I Hate Everything by Maggie Weber. Weber, my bad. Uh, Check it out on Amazon. Check her out on Facebook. I'll put a link to her Facebook in the description. And on YouTube, she goes by Refashioned Hippie. So I will put a link to her YouTube channel as well. But yeah, good book. A solid 4.8 out of 5 on my scale. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth buying off Amazon. I'll link to that in the description too. So yeah, thanks for watching and go check out this book, please. Thanks.